Well, it's that time of the year, Summer League. For fans like myself and other content creators, it is one of the best and most exciting times of the entire NBA season. Yeah, we're not getting NBA basketball from vets like LeBron James and Kevin Durant, but we're still getting some good basketball and getting a glimpse into the future of the NBA. And this is actually one of the better summer leagues in a minute, as we see a lot of highly talked about and highly touted prospects go head to head. And this is the first time for a lot of people that they get to see these prospects play. But before I get into this video, it is worth noting, and I think with some of the stuff I've been seeing on social media, this is worth saying. These prospects are new to the NBA. This is their first time on an NBA court playing NBA basketball with NBA rules. Some of them are going to struggle out the gate like how Trae Young did a couple years ago. And some of them are going to play well, but with the way they play in Summer League does not directly transfer to how they're going to play when it's their time in the league. We've seen players like Trae Young and Jalen Brunson play horrendous in the Summer League, and look at them now. All-stars and some of the best players on their team and in the entire world. So don't take what these players do during this Summer League too far. But with that being said, there are some things you can take away from Summer League, and in this Summer League there have been tons of notable moments and games for plenty of prospects, and I think the most obvious one is none other than Victor Wembanyama. Now Vic played his first two Summer League games this past weekend, and they were pretty interesting to say the least. The first game, he struggled mightily on the offensive end of the floor. He scored a total of 9 points, brought down 8 rebounds, had 5 blocks, dished out 3 assists, but his downfall was when it came to shooting, as he was 2 for 13 from the field, and he shot 1 for 6 from 3. Now, if you guys watched my video where I talked about Vic and everything, then you would know one thing that I realized Vic was going to struggle with coming into the NBA was his offense. Yes, Vic is amazing on offense, and I do think it won't take him too long to get accustomed to the game, but Vic, when he was in the French league, did struggle with was his efficiency. And although I think more of his struggles were due to how tired he looked and how dead his legs looked, some of these things that he was struggling with, like hitting jump shots and hitting 3-point shots, weren't really that surprising to me. Now, with all that being said, one thing I knew he was going to be great at coming in and he was going to have an immediate impact in was defense, and that's exactly what he did. In that first game, despite his lackluster offensive game, defensively he was amazing. He had 5 blocks and he deterred a lot of shots that players were trying to take at the rim. He was amazing in pick and roll. He was amazing as a help side defender as well. And this is something that I saw coming. I'm really not too surprised about. And this is the reason why, despite what a lot of people think, I don't think this first game was that bad for him. However, the second game is where he really made his money. He had 27 points, brought down 12 rebounds, had 3 blocks, and he shot much better from the field, as he was 9 for 14 from the field, and he shot 2 for 4 from 3. He was attacking the rim with aggression. He didn't look as tired, and his jump shot was going in. Some other notable moments from other prospects was none other than the duel between Amen and Scoot Henderson. Of course, he didn't get to see this game, but I heard and I saw from the highlights that this was one of the best summer games that many people have ever seen. Amen and Scoot were going back and forth, and they were showing everybody why they're the cornerstones of their franchise. Fortunately, both of them would get injured in this game, but we didn't really need to see much, or at least I didn't really need to see much to know what I already knew. Yes, they're going to have some struggles, but these are the cornerstones for their franchise, and more than likely will be the faces one day. On the midst of those two performances in the Summer League, I would like to highlight something that went a little bit under the radar first, and that was how great Jabari Smith Jr. played. Now, he started off rough that game, and he looked more like a rookie than a sophomore, but he picked it up. He ended up finishing with, I think, 33 points, including the game winner. And he took this same aggression and same momentum into the rest of the Summer League games that he played, and he ended up dominating anyone he went up against, which gave a lot of optimism to Rocket fans and just fans of him in general, because at first he was struggling and that pick was looking worse and worse every day considering how good Chet looked and how good Paolo looked. But he made up for it, and eventually, like we see now, the Rockets said, "You're too good for Summer League, we just want you to sit and support your team." Now, back to the 2023 draft class, someone else who was getting a lot of buzz was Brandon Miller, but not for the same reasons that Vic was. Brandon Miller had a rough couple of games to start off his NBA Summer League career. He wasn't really making shots, he was very inefficient, he was fouling like crazy, and it was just very bad for him. But when they got to Vegas, Brandon looked better. The stats might not show it, and some people might think otherwise, but Brandon looked pretty good. And it's also worth noting that he was on a team with Nick Smith and James Bouknight and a bunch of people who aren't really creators nor playmakers, and this really hurt him in the long term. That being said, I do think he will struggle in the regular season, but I don't think he'll look this bad, especially when he has a real primary playmaker like LaMelo next to him to kind of ease off some of the pressure, because he was the only and best creator that the Hornets had in this summer league. Now, I mentioned him earlier, but I really didn't go in depth with it. Another player I would like to talk about is Chet Holmgren. Chet, we haven't seen him play since last year in the summer league because he got injured in the program run in Seattle. But Chet looked amazing, and he looked like the player that we were all hoping he would be. Chet put on some weight as we expected, because coming into the league, he was very skinny, and it was a well-known fact that he was going to have to put some weight on, that way he could maximize his potential in the NBA, and he did just that. He even gained some facial hair, and as we saw in the first couple of games he played in the summer league, everything that we thought Chet was going to be, especially on defense, he was. When a guard would get blown by, he would be right there in the paint deterring the shot or forcing the player to kick it out. And on offense, although he wasn't the best and he struggled and looked a little bit awkward at times, he still was doing some of the things that you would like to see from him. And I think many OKC fans are going home smiling, thinking about how good Chet played and also how good Tre Mann played. I think this summer league was kind of make or break for him, like it was for other players like James Bouknight. Tre Mann is stepping up to the plate, and he has performed really well. Another player who had a lot of eyes on him was Cam Whitmore, a player who was projected to go top 10, who fell all the way to 20 to the Rockets, and that is looking like a steal more and more every day. Now, Cam does have his struggles. He has really bad tunnel vision, but he's really good at scoring the ball, and it's not many people that can stop him when he's going downhill, as he's so fast, explosive, and strong. He really knows how to use all of this to his advantage, and if I'm a Rockets fan, I am ecstatic knowing that I saw the way Amen played in that first game and seeing how Cam is performing these last few games. Cam has looked amazing. Now, although there's some things he could improve on, like his jump shot and like that tunnel vision, because he is not a willing passer, I still think that he can improve on that, and there's a lot to be optimistic about. Finally, I'd like to touch up on some sleepers in the draft, or just players who really didn't have much buzz in general going in the summer league. First one being none other than my guy, one of my favorite players from the draft, Keyonte George, who didn't really look the best this season in Baylor. Now, he was one of the best recruits in the nation, and he decided to go to Baylor, but he didn't have the best year. Now, coming in the summer league, Keyonte had a lot of questions, and many people questioned how good he would really be. But Keyonte shed some weight, and he's looked really good so far. He's looked like a really good creator, as he's had a double-double in some games, and he's also been able to get his shot off and make points at the rim and beyond the arc. It looks like him shedding some of that weight that he gained at Baylor for whatever reason has really allowed him to showcase his athleticism more, as he's catching lobs, he's able to have a better first step, among other things. Keyonte has looked really well all summer league, and I'm expecting this. Now, going into this season, like everybody, he will struggle, but Keyonte is a player who's not to be slept on, and I think he, despite being a lottery pick and held in very high regards, is somebody that a lot of people have slept on. But come this season, or come the next few seasons, everybody will see how legit Keyonte is. Our last player I'd like to talk about is none other than Leonard Miller. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, Leonard Miller is a player who joined G League Ignite coming straight out of high school, but he struggled his first year. Now, some people thought he should enter the draft, but he didn't really have a whole lot of buzz, so he stayed back 1 year, and in his second year, he looked 10 times better. Everything improved, from his feel on the court to his passing to his jump shot. He just looked like a much better player, and he decided he was going to enter the draft this year. Now, some people were saying mid to late first round, and I would have had him late first round, but he fell all the way to the second round to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And so far this summer league, he's making a lot of teams regret it. The improvement in shot making and the defensive playmaking has showcased itself across every single game he has played so far in summer league, and it's something that could really translate well on this Minnesota Timberwolves team. His unique and unorthodox skill set seems like it will be really successful in the NBA. Now, these are all of my summer league thoughts. Now, I'm not here to bash any players because, like I said, this is summer league. Some players can play really bad in summer league and they'll look really good later on. And it's the other way around as well. Some players can play really well in summer league and look complete trash when they get in the NBA. Let's not take this too seriously, and let's just enjoy summer league and enjoy the fact that we have some good basketball on. But that's all I have for now. Let me know what you guys think about the summer league. Let me know who some of y'all favorite players are. But that's all I have. And until next time, peace.